Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are undertaking a seriously high-stakes digital autopsy. We're going to pull back the curtain and take an incredible journey that moves from a massive macroeconomic AI crisis happening right now all the way down to the microscopic bare metal of the computer sitting right on our desks. If you care at all about the future of digital creation, who owns it, and how it's fundamentally built, you are absolutely going to want to pay very close attention.
Okay, let's dive into this. Let's kick things off with a shocking statistic that basically defines our current reality online. A staggering 58.5% of US Google searches now end in 0 clicks. Just think about that for a second. The majority of the time someone searches for something, they never actually leave the search engine to visit an external website. The vibrant web of unique blogs and distinct voices is shifting drastically. Traffic isn't just dropping, it's being entirely contained by the platforms themselves.
And the stakes here, they are absolutely massive. That zero-click reality translates to an estimated $2 billion in annual ad revenue that digital publishers and creators are projected to lose. Experts are legally calling this phenomenon semantic decapitation. It's essentially an extinction-level event where AI overviews answer queries before links can even load, completely severing the original human intent and their copyright from the final generated output. You essentially become a mere data point, completely disconnected from your own creation.
So here is our exact roadmap for today. We're taking a deliberate journey from the macro symptoms of this AI crisis straight down to the literal silicon cure. First up, the creator extinction event. Then we'll meet the FPU gambler, explore the wood chipper effect, and cross the semiotic bridge. Finally, we'll discover the exact ALU surveyor and wrap up with securing creator sovereignty. Let's get moving.
Section 1. The Creator Extinction Event. Eating the Open Web.
To see exactly how web traffic is literally vanishing, just look at this dramatic drop. Standard search traditionally gave websites a modest 15% click rate, but once an AI summary box pops up, that rate plummets to 8%. And honestly, it gets even worse for creators. When people see source links embedded inside those AI summaries, they click them a dismal 1% of the time. The AI scrapes the insights, generates the answer, and keeps the user captive. The writer puts in all the work and gets essentially nothing.
Section 2. Meet the FPU gambler. The hardware flaw. Now what's really interesting here is that we have to descend past the software, straight down into the bare silicon.
Get a load of this staggering fact. 80 to 90% of modern AI compute cycles are actually just hardware-level approximations. They are not exact math. To process absolute oceans of continuous data at breakneck speeds, the massive systems running our AI models are fundamentally forced to just make highly educated guesses. So that flawless mathematical certainty we all think powers our digital world, down at the metal level, it's largely an illusion.
And this brings us face to face with the floating point unit, or as we like to call it, the FPU gambler. The FPU is specifically designed to approximate heavy, complex math incredibly fast, but there is a massive catch. To achieve that crazy speed, chip manufacturers literally burn secret proprietary seed tables right into the silicon. It's incredibly fast, sure, but it's totally unauditable. It's basically like a gambler frantically throwing darts at a board rather than delivering exact mathematical truth.
Section 3. The wood chipper effect. Data provenance lost.
Let's walk through this visceral wood chipper effect step by step to see exactly how non-deterministic hardware permanently destroys the chain of title. Step 1. The AI ingests exact source data, like a copyrighted book or an artist's portfolio. Step 2. The FPU hardware encounters that complex data and approximates the math using those secret silicon tables we just talked about. And Step 3. Because that math was ultimately just a lossy guess, the original data provenance, the exact mathematical path back to the creator, is permanently lost forever.
Our sources have an absolutely brilliant metaphor for this. They state, the FPU basically acts like a giant blender. You know exactly what went into the blender, but you absolutely cannot reverse engineer that smoothie back into the exact fruits. It's so true. Once the machine guesses the math, the original human creator is completely lost in the digital smoothie. There is simply no going back to credit the specific writers who trained it.
And you know, this abstract, microscopic glitch scales up to cause massive real-world damage. Take the 2020 DDX credit crisis, where automated systems lost the verified history of 2.7 million albums. This creates what's called the metadata miasma, a fog of mathematically distorted data that literally swallows human paychecks into an uncredited abyss.
To put that into perspective, a session vocalist for Erykah Badu initially lost out on $15,000 in royalties simply because the credit wasn't captured perfectly at the source. The machine's guesswork literally liquidates real human contributors.
Section 4. The semiotic bridge. Crossing the divide.
First, we really have to recognize the sheer scale of the gap we're trying to cross. On one side, we have OS alpha. This is our human cognition. It flows continuously, it's warm, beautifully messy, and highly associative. But on the other side, we have the computer's physical silicon. It is freezing cold, rigid, discrete, and demands absolute, unforgiving deterministic voltages. Trust me, it doesn't understand your meaning or your feelings at all.
To bridge that alien divide without falling into the wood chipper, we use what's called the semiotic bridge. This is structured, deterministic text like JSON or C code, acting as the universal, lossless interface. Text here is no longer just for reading. It is a strict script that safely compiles our fuzzy human imagination into exact physical hardware execution. Our sources poetically describe this pipeline as, quite literally, tricking rocks into thinking using lightning. How cool is that?
Section 5. The exact ALU surveyor. Absolute hardware truth.
Let's move to this next part and see how this builds. When we put these two head-to-head, the contrast is stark. On one side is the chaotic FPU gambler, fast, but probabilistic, lossy, and completely destructive to provenance. But on the other side, we have the arithmetic logic unit, or the ALU surveyor. The ALU might be slightly slower initially, but it deals strictly in absolute, exact hardware truth. In the ALU, 1 + 1 = exactly 2, every single time on every single machine on Earth. It is a globally accountable universal witness.
And the beautiful part is, we don't need to rebuild the entire internet from scratch to leverage this exactness. Look at this bizarre 30-year timeline. Back in 1996, the HTTP 402 code was reserved for native web payments. By 1998, it meant payment required. But then, crickets. For nearly 30 years, nothing happened. Developers got completely blocked by what's called Ricardian complexity, the struggle to build massive, legally bloated smart contracts. Finally, the modern X42 protocol resurrects the 402 code using a simple chopsticks design. It uses incredibly lightweight webhooks, allowing AI agents to securely trigger micropayments without all the legal bloat.
Section 6. Securing creator sovereignty. Protecting digital rights.
Now, let's zoom all the way back out, because the way innovation is funded fundamentally dictates how it gets built. On one side, we have Liquidator VC, which acts exactly like a Las Vegas casino. It's an extractive model that relies on short-term hype and treats founders and data as completely disposable feedstock. But on the other side, we have the alternative, Legitimacy VC, which operates like a vineyard. It focuses on a 10-year compounding horizon and clinical validation. And specifically, it uses a model called Provenance VC to bake undeniable mathematical truth directly into the digital substrate.
So the crucial point is how this truth is actually organized into an unbreakable ledger. Enter the ERC7827 LIFO stack. LIFO simply stands for last in, first out. Because of this root-to-leaf architecture, a machine literally only ever needs to query the top of the stack, index 0, to get immediate, flawless proof of the system's absolute truth. It perfectly captures the sweat of the brow as an undeniable cryptographic receipt, completely bypassing the massive hidden taxes and ambiguities of traditional software auditing.
Let's summarize the whole shebang. By intentionally avoiding the FPU wood chipper effect, utilizing simple HTTP 402 webhooks for seamless machine-to-machine payments, and anchoring everything with mathematically perfect ERC7827 LIFO ledgers, we forge an unbreakable chain of title. Furthermore, it's legally shielded by UCC Article 12. This matters immensely because it makes cryptographic control legally binding, literally leapfrogging traditional paper filings. This creates a true agentic publishing house where creators finally become the toll booth instead of the roadkill.
As this entire digital landscape fundamentally shifts beneath our feet, it leaves every single one of us with a profound choice regarding our digital legacy. Will you surrender your intent to the probabilistic guessing machine and just become lost in the digital smoothie? Or will you step up as the sovereign pilot, actively wielding the divine script of deterministic text to build reliable, undeniable infrastructure? The future of how we innovate and protect true human authorship depends entirely on your answer. Thank you so much for joining me on The Explainer today. And as always, keep learning.